toxic masculinity.
Twitter suspends Spanish politician for saying that men can't get pregnant. Yeah, this is this is pretty ridiculous. Wrong thing. Let's see here. Yeah, Spanish politician temporarily suspended by Twitter after saying that a man cannot get pregnant. How dare he? How very dare he? Let's have a look here. And you may be wondering why anyone might think that that was somehow a bannable offense to say a man can't get pregnant. So the idea behind this, in case you haven't figured this out yet, is that women who have transitioned to become a man in their life, right? So they've decided that, like Rachel Maddow, right? I'm tired of being a woman. I want to be a man. So they cut their hair real short and they wear pants all the time. And then they basically just go around pretending that they're a man, which they're not. They can still get pregnant, obviously. They got all the reproductive parts that are needed to reproduce. And so when they do get pregnant, they are apparently a pregnant man because they've said they're a man. They're not really a man, obviously, but they've said they're a man, and so I guess that makes them a man. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. Let me just make sure everything's kosher. Yeah, nobody seems to be complaining about the audio or anything, so let's do this. Going back to the story. There we go. Well, let me get rid of Valeria's picture there. Nope, that's mine. There we go. Francisco Jose Contreras. Well, he sounds like a contrarian. All right. Deputy to Spain's far-right Vox party was locked out of his Twitter account for 12 hours last week after saying a man cannot get pregnant because they have no uterus or egg. Well, that may have something to do with it, right? Twitter does not like people on the right. Far right, middle right, anything right. They don't like them. Now, I don't know. Maybe I disagree with this guy. Maybe I don't like this guy. But obviously saying a man can't get pregnant should not be a bannable offense. Let's see here. Contreras' comments were in response to an article that he shared on social media, on the social media platform about a transgender male who announced they were a father after giving birth to a baby girl. Contreras said in a Facebook post on May 11th that he had received a message from Twitter which informed them that he had violated the policies on hate speech for the remarks. That's like, Twitter's crazy, y'all. Twitter is crazy. A hateful tweet, which I was forced to delete, was one that said a man cannot get pregnant. A man has no womb or eggs. Contreras wrote in a response to the move. You can see this is already fascist biology. Next time I'll try 2 + 2 = 4. Or how about the sky is blue? That's a good one, too. According to Twitter, Contreras violated its policy against material that threatens, harasses, or fosters violence against other people on the basis of their race, ethnic origin, nationality, sexual orientation, gender identity, religion, age, disability, or disease. How many people do you think are getting kicked off the platform for criticizing Christians? I'm thinking 0. Or for being an American. Yeah, that's not happening. Keep in mind that or being white. Yeah. Keep in mind that the repeated defaults may lead to defaults. That's interesting. Keep in mind that repeated defaults may lead to, that's a weird word to use, defaults. I don't understand that, but whatever. That's the word they've decided to go with. Keep in mind that repeated defaults may lead to permanent suspension of your account, Twitter warned. Go to Twitter now to fix the problem with your account. Spokesperson for Twitter declined to comment. Contreras' supporters have started a hashtag, a man cannot be pregnant, in response to Twitter's decision. That's amazing. I want to post that, actually. We will not yield to Twitter's imposing of a twisted and anthropologically wrong worldview, not to mention biologically wrong. Contreras told LifeSite News, we'll continue to speak the truth about human nature. Biological truth should not be regarded as hate speech. It's biology, not bigotry. This is the first time that content from the Vox Party has been flagged. According to Spanish publication Counting Stars, Twitter disabled the official Vox Party account for 24 hours during the country's election in January after the group claimed that high crime rates were tied to North African immigrants. Wow. So this indicates to me that Twitter is now actively attempting to alter the results of foreign elections. Yeah. Well, we know that they do that here, right? With the whole Hunter Biden New York Post story. Well, we're not going to let that get out. We're going to hide that from the public. So, and I kind of knew that they did stuff with like terrorist groups, like they wouldn't let certain organizations post and whatnot. But this looks like a party that is a relatively mainstream party, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know anything about Spanish politics. But yeah, social media should not be in the business of trying to alter elections around the world. And if they are doing that, yeah, then as I said, I think the only resolution to this problem, and it is a pretty serious problem, the amount of power that social media has, is just to regulate social media, right? You cannot censor political speech. I'm sorry, you can't censor political speech. You guys are essentially utilities. You cannot be sued by people for posting things that they don't like. Therefore, you cannot censor things that you don't like. Those are the rules, guys. Now, all we have to do is make those the rules. I don't understand. It's like so simple to me. It's so simple to me. You are not allowed to regulate speech, because if you create an environment in which you have two political parties and one of them gets to say whatever they want and the other one doesn't get to say anything, well, then people are simply forced to accept the narrative of the party that gets to speak. They set the narrative entirely. The only people who are permitted to hear what the opposing party has to say are those who go out and search for the message of the opposing party. You cannot passively listen to something that's being blocked from you. You have to actively go out and try to find it. And most people just aren't willing to do that. So most people are just accept the narrative that they passively hear. And the message they passively hear is that which Twitter allows them to hear, that which YouTube allows them to hear, that which Facebook allows them to hear. Now, I can show you guys, actually, I can show you guys censorship on my own account. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube Studio. Let's have a look in real time. Let's go ahead and look at my own censorship. We'll go to the Jen Psaki video. This video is doing relatively well. Okay, yeah, this is pretty good here. Yeah, you guys can have a look behind the hood of my channel. Okay, so this is can you see my mouse? What I mean? No, you cannot see my mouse. Can I fix that? I can, but I don't remember how. So we're just gonna leave it off for now. But have a look up here at okay, so this is subscribed to unsubscribed, right? This is subscribed to unsubscribed. And you see here that we've got 94.8% of my views, or my minutes of watched video for this video, are subscribed viewers, people who are subscribed. 5.2% not subscribed. So essentially, the only people that are even allowed to see my videos are people who are already subscribed to my channel. Now, you may not actually be able to see that because my face might be in the way. Let me move this. Okay, there we go. You can see it now. Okay, so now look down at the it's sort of in the middle on the left there. Watch time from subscribers. 94.8% subscribed, 5.2% not subscribed. See, this is a huge problem, because this means, like I said, nobody who's watching this video, or very, very few people who are watching this video, are not subscribed, meaning that YouTube isn't distributing my video to everybody. They're only distributing my videos to my subscribers, to the people that already subscribe to my channel. And now what does that result in? Well, look at the top right here. Subscribers, -20. -20. So that's just from this video alone, right? Now, is this video a particularly hated video? No. This video got an amazing like to dislike ratio. I think it's something like, 99%, 99.5% like to dislike ratio. So lots of people liked this video, way more than disliked it. But then how do I lose 20 subscribers? It doesn't seem to make any sense, right? Well, partly it's because of this subscribed versus not subscribed thing. And you can say, well, maybe your video wasn't that popular and it only reached the subscribed viewers. No. My reach was really good. This is actually really good. 11.3% click-through rate is excellent. On the first day, it was actually much higher than this, 12%. It was actually something like 16 yesterday. So, the impressions are going up. They're going up not nearly as high as they should. YouTube just doesn't promote my videos to anyone. They say that the browse features are the primary way people are getting notified, but the only people getting the browse features are subscribers. Those are the only people getting it. So I'm basically locked in. So yeah, this is YouTube essentially just trying to destroy me, trying to destroy my channel. Fortunately, I have a lot of loyal viewers that do watch my show, do like my show, and let me put that back, actually. Not that one. I want that one. There we go. And so I still get a significant number of views every episode, but yeah, they are essentially trying to crush my channel, and that's what Twitter's doing. And the thing is, I am genuinely trying to express political perspective. That's all, right? I'm not trying to spread disinformation. I'm not trying to spread conspiracy theories. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to hate. I'm not trying to encourage racism or any of the kind of things that they say are all these nasty things. But I even think that those things need to be protected, because the whole point of First Amendment free speech, the whole point is you have to be able to hear things that you don't like hearing, right? That's the whole point of it. And so this idea that this guy is saying something that Twitter doesn't like, or maybe somebody who's trans doesn't like, and so he gets banned from social media, he's not allowed to speak. This political party, Vox, the Vox party in Spain, is not allowed to express their ideas, to spread their message in a political campaign, because what is it that they said that got them banned? Because high crime rates are tied to North African immigrants. Now, that may be true. You could potentially find a statistical correlation with that. I don't know if they did that. But if that's true, how could you possibly get banned for simply stating a fact? It doesn't make any sense to me. It would be like saying high crime rates in America are tied to, to high concentrations of black people living in a particular region. Well, that may be true, right? That may be true. It's not an attractive thing to hear. It's not a lovely thing to say. People don't like hearing that. But if that's true, then that has to be dealt with, right? That has to be dealt with. That's the whole concept of politics, right? Is to look at problems that we have and try to fix those problems. Well, if you're not even willing to hear the problem, how are you gonna ever fix it? Right? And this is the problem with the left. They want to put their heads in the sand, not listen to anything. They don't like free speech because they don't want to hear things that they don't like. They're very, very sensitive. I just did a video. I just posted a video about, well, we talked about this last week. Marjorie Taylor Greene basically telling AOC that she thinks she supports terrorism and she needs to debate her on the Green New Deal. And AOC basically said, "Oh, we need to get the sergeant in arms to like somehow deal with Marjorie Taylor Greene and like somehow like physically restrain her or something like that because she shouted at me from across the room and I feel threatened." You guys were there. We talked about this last week. I've actually turned that into a Mr. Reagan video, so we'll see what the general Mr. Reagan audience thinks about that. But wow, I mean, what a coward. The left are just a bunch of wimps, really. I think that's what it boils down to. They can't stand somebody shouting at them and challenging them to a debate. they're terrified of us, which I think is great. But I think that actually informs a lot of their decision making. Like, oh, the Republicans are all tough and we don't like that, and we have to use the law to fight against them. I think that's maybe at least in part why they're so vicious. It's something I hadn't thought of before. The left is really nasty, really vicious when it comes to dirty political tricks and making really brutal, harsh legislation. I mean, like impeaching Trump twice for essentially hoaxes is an absurd political maneuver. I mean, it is so dirty and it's so vicious. I think there needs to be a consequence for trying to impeach a president. Sort of like what do they call it when you sue somebody and the lawsuit is what, frivolous, right? They say it's a frivolous lawsuit. You can get in trouble for filing a frivolous lawsuit, but you can't get in trouble for filing a frivolous impeachment. Now, how is that? That's not good. That's not good, because there is nothing to discourage someone like Nancy Pelosi, a psychopath like Nancy Pelosi, from just over and over and over again impeaching somebody like Donald Trump, who did nothing wrong. A president they just don't like. They just don't like them because they are politically opposed to their point of view. People like them do need to have some kind of consequence to their vicious actions. Now, you could say, well, the consequence is for them to get unelected, right? For the people of their district to say, wow, that's outrageous, I got to stop electing you. The problem is the people in Nancy Pelosi's district are just as insane as she is, right? And so why should we have this small district in California holding the rest of the country hostage? That doesn't make any sense to me. So we got to figure out how to fix that. That's certainly a problem. Problem the Democrats probably don't want to talk about. All right. I don't know how to end that. I can't think of a good way of ending it, so let's just end it. That's it for that story. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Now, this is... I shouldn't have put this here. I should have put this at the beginning, because it doesn't transition as well into the next story. The next story transitions perfectly into free speech. But let's go ahead and do this. So... yeah. So this story is CNN contributor fired for tweeting, "The world today needs a Hitler." The world today needs a Hitler. And you may be wondering exactly what he's talking about. Is it as bad as it sounds? Oh, yes. He's talking about eradicating the Jews. Okay, so let's have a look here. Anti-Semitic contributor is fired by CNN for posting "The world today needs a Hitler" 7 years after his first praising Nazi leader, or after first praising the Nazi leader. Let's see here. Toxic Masculinity, weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.